Hello, you're welcome to ABC News Highlights. My name is Goba Abadai.
And my name is Nana Kwame Brobe. Let's dive on to our first story. So, after much anticipation, the NDC and former president and current presidential candidate for the party, John Dramani Mahama, has retained his running mate, being Professor Jane Opoku Ajaman, who was his running mate again last year. So I think there were a lot of assumptions as to who he would pick this time, because it almost seems like the NDC is very certain of their victory this year. But the only good thing, one of the best things about this is Ghana is in a running to have the first woman vice president. And I think that is it's exciting to a lot of people.
I think it's actually great, and it gives them some advantage. Women will be like, okay, women empowerment in session. I'm going to vote for.
What was that? What was that? Women empowerment in session last elections, the 2020 general election.
Oh. Okay, so
Exactly.
was the women empowerment really working? I think maybe we are going to vote. Okay.
They didn't go to the polls.
Really?
Yeah, but I think this time the NDC is sure of their victory, and I think even beyond the masses that the running candidate, the running mate will bring in, they're sure that.
When you say they're sure, what does that mean?
Have you not? Every time they have organized the press, every time that Mahama has spoken, every time that any NDC spokesperson has spoken, they've said they are very sure that the NDC will win, because they trust that Ghanaians will be able to discern between the leadership styles and quality between the two parties.
Okay, well, when we go to the polls, we shall see. And our next story for the day. So the Member of Parliament for South Dai, Roxton Nelson Dafeamekpor, is receiving some backlash for statements that he made about Asamoah Gyan. So some Ghanaians have slammed Roxton Nelson Dafeamekpor, the Member of Parliament of South Dai, over a bizarre claim that Asamoah Gyan deliberately missed the penalty against Uruguay in the 2010 World Cup. Some have described the lawmaker's take as stupid and silly, while others are disappointed that a Member of Parliament would make such remarks. Dafeamekpor, in a Radio XYZ interview, alleged that Asamoah Gyan has been a long-life supporter of the New Patriotic Party and allowed his political bias to influence him during his active days as a footballer. So in a quarterfinal, against Uruguay, we all know that he missed, and Ghanaians haven't forgiven him till this day. But this claim is something. I think it's because his name is in the manifesto. The current flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. That is some wild claim.
It's been more than a decade.
What does that even mean?
Exactly. What implication would it have to the present time and the current happenings? What impact would it have? He did, he didn't. It's been 14
Are you
years.
saying he foresaw that he would be in the manifesto today and he missed it and out in 2010?
To me, I just don't see the point. Okay, he missed it. What now? It's been more than a decade. Has there been any particular improvement in winning a cup? Did other people that have not deliberately missed penalties?
Maybe he will have to come back and give us, maybe further explanations, because I'm not really understanding. Okay.
Or maybe he should just not speak on things that are more than a decade old. That would not mean anything to the current time. Guys, moving on to our third story. Since the Parliament passed the bill to be signed by President, that is the anti-gay bill, it has become such an ongoing national conversation. We have people agreeing with Parliament and people opposing Parliament's decision to pass that bill and waiting for Akufo-Addo to assent it. Well, as people are waiting to see what the president will do, a lot of people are speaking to him. People are projecting he will sign it. Well, according to Professor Manu, we will see if Akufo-Addo assents anti-LGBTQ plus bill into law. So renowned Ghanaian human rights activist and member of the Ghana Center for Democratic Development Ghana, Emerita Prof. Techiwa Manu, has threatened legal action against the government of Ghana should the promotion of human sexual rights and family values bill, that is the anti-gay bill, be passed into law by way of presidential assent. So according to her, if the president goes ahead to assent the bill, they will take the government on. They will turn to the courts to seek justice for LGBT plus people in the country.
We shall see how that goes. We'll still have to wait for the decision of the president. So,
But I really think he's backed into a very, very tight corner.
of course he is, Nana. Financially, economic issues, protection of people's rights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think as a human rights lawyer, there are expectations of him to be able to recognize when human rights are being infringed upon him, when certain bills will harm the rights of other people or minorities. And then as a president to a conservative country, he has, especially in an election year, he has people to please.
Exactly. I was thinking about that. If the majority of the people say pass the bill, otherwise we vote you out of parliament, then that is a problem. So we'll see what the president decides eventually. Now, on to our last story for the day. So, minority MPs want the Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Okukwempe, to appear before Parliament so that he can explain why there are power cuts all across the country. So, minority members of Parliament have called on the leadership of the House to summon the Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Okukwempe, to provide an update on steps the government has taken to resolve the recent power cuts. The Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Al-Hassan Suhuyini, on Friday, March 1st, bemoaned the impact the power cuts are having on households and businesses. He appealed to the leadership of the House during the presentation of the business statement for the ensuing year, and I'm quoting, "Many people and businesses are unable to plan their activities and their programs, and they also sometimes have to find extra money to power their generators for their businesses, and many people do not know what is happening. They are told that there are planned and unplanned programs and load is being shed. So it is important that the leadership of the House makes it possible for the Energy Minister to brief the House next week on the power situation and why fellow countrymen and women have to deal with the on and off situation. Ghanaians need to understand why they sleep in darkness." So they are saying that, he needs to appear before Parliament and give Ghanaians an explanation so that we know what is happening. So we shall see whether or not he appears before Parliament.
I think now that Parliament had a blackout,
He
it
shall
will be more
appear.
prudent, he better.
So you think that was a force for them saying now come to,
Because I think the majority in Parliament and the president or the NPP run government actually still believes that they've held the power for 7 years. So they wouldn't have any need to call him to come and explain why the power has been cutting or going off.
And that was a rude awakening.
That was a very
That
rude
is not the
awakening.
reality.
Very, very rude awakening.
Well, we shall see whether he will appear before Parliament. Do let us know your thoughts on the things that we have talked about. This has been ABC News Highlights. My name is Kulva Abadai.
And my name is Nana Kwame Brobe.
For more details, please visit abcnewsgh.com. Our social media handles, abcnewsgh_. See you.